Hey Pisces, I need to sit down with you for this one because what I'm seeing in the cards right now is absolutely something you need to hear. Someone from your past, someone you might have been thinking about or trying to move on from, is carrying some really heavy feelings, and they're getting ready to reach out to you. This isn't just a casual check-in text. This is someone who's been doing some serious soul searching, and they're ready to be vulnerable with you in ways they couldn't before. So I shuffled the deck with your energy in mind, asking Spirit to show me what's really going on with this connection and what's coming for you, Pisces. And the cards that came through are incredibly telling. There's so much transformation happening behind the scenes that you're not even aware of yet, but you're about to be. Let me walk you through what I'm seeing, because each card here is revealing a different layer of this situation. The first card that came through is Judgment, and honestly, when this card appears in a reading about someone reaching out, it's massive. This isn't about small talk or surface-level reconnection. Judgment represents awakening, resurrection, and those moments in life when people finally see things clearly after being in denial or confusion for a long time. This person has gone through a complete internal reckoning about you and about what happened between you two. They've been replaying conversations, analyzing where things went wrong, and they've come to some conclusions that are making them realize they made a mistake. The Judgment card is all about that moment of clarity when someone can no longer ignore the truth. And for this person, the truth is that they still have very real feelings for you that they've been trying to suppress or rationalize away. What's really interesting about Judgment appearing first is that it shows this isn't coming from a place of boredom or loneliness. This is coming from genuine transformation. This person has been confronted with themselves, maybe through other experiences or relationships that didn't work out, maybe through therapy or deep reflection, but they've had to face some uncomfortable truths about themselves and about what they really want. And you keep coming up in their mind as unfinished business, as someone they let go too easily or pushed away when they were dealing with their own issues. There's a spiritual awakening quality to this card, so this person might have been going through their own healing journey, and part of that journey has made them realize that you were actually much more important to them than they allowed themselves to admit at the time. The energy of Judgment also suggests that this person feels like they're being called to make things right. You know how sometimes you just get that feeling that you have to do something? That the universe is pushing you toward a specific action? That's what's happening for them. They're feeling this internal pressure to reach out, to be honest, to lay their cards on the table with you. And the timing of this is significant because Judgment doesn't show up when people are just casually thinking about the past. It shows up when there's a pivotal moment, when a decision needs to be made, when someone is standing at a crossroads and they know they need to choose a different path than the one they've been on. Now, the second card that appeared is the Fool. And this is where things get really interesting because the Fool is about new beginnings, taking leaps of faith and being willing to start fresh without knowing exactly how things will turn out. This person is ready to take a risk with you. They're ready to step into unknown territory and be vulnerable in ways that might feel scary for them. The Fool energy suggests they're willing to put aside their ego, their pride, all the reasons they might have convinced themselves it was better to stay away, and they're choosing to take a chance on reconnecting with you even though they don't know how you'll respond. What I love about the Fool appearing here is that it shows genuine innocence in their intention. This isn't someone playing games or trying to manipulate you. The Fool is pure-hearted, maybe even a little naive, willing to be open and honest without a bunch of calculated strategies. They're approaching this reconnection with a sense of hope and optimism, believing that maybe, just maybe, there's a possibility for something real between you two if they're just honest about how they feel. The Fool also suggests they're ready to start over, to not let the past define what could happen moving forward. They want a clean slate with you, Pisces, a chance to show you a different version of themselves than what you might have experienced before. There's also this energy with the Fool of not being able to hold back anymore. You know how sometimes you just reach a point where you can't keep pretending you don't care about something? That's where this person is. They've tried to move on, they've tried to convince themselves it was better this way, but the Fool energy is showing me they're done pretending. They're ready to take that leap and reach out to you regardless of the potential for rejection, because staying silent is becoming more painful than the risk of putting themselves out there. And there's something really beautiful about that level of courage, even if it's taken them a while to get there. The Lovers card came through next, and I mean, come on, this card is directly about connection, choice, and the energy between two people. When the Lovers appears in a reading about someone reaching out, it confirms that this is absolutely about romantic feelings and a desire for genuine partnership. This person sees you as their person, Pisces. They've been comparing everyone else to you and nobody measures up. The Lovers is about that soul recognition, that feeling of having found someone who just gets you on a level that's hard to find. And this person is realizing that what they had with you, even if it was complicated or didn't work out the first time, had a quality to it that they haven't been able to replicate with anyone else. What's coming through strongly with the Lovers is that this person is ready to make a conscious choice to prioritize you and this connection. The Lovers is all about choosing love, choosing partnership, choosing to invest in something real rather than running from it or taking it for granted. In the past, they might not have been ready to make that choice. They might have been distracted by other things, scared of commitment, dealing with their own baggage that made them unable to fully show up for you. But something has shifted for them, and now they're in a place where they're ready to actually choose you and mean it. The Lovers also speaks to alignment and harmony, suggesting that when this person does reach out, they're going to be talking about how right things felt with you, how connected they felt, how much they miss that specific energy between you two. They're not just missing having someone around or the convenience of a relationship. They're missing you specifically, the way you made them feel, the conversations you had, the comfort and understanding that existed between you. The Lovers' energy is very much about recognizing that special something that doesn't come around often. And this person has come to realize that what they had with you was rare and worth fighting for. Justice showed up next, and this card is incredibly significant because justice is all about truth, accountability, and making things right. This person knows they didn't treat you the way you deserve to be treated. They know there were times they let you down, didn't communicate properly, maybe made choices that hurt you, even if that wasn't their intention. Justice appearing here shows me that this person has been doing some real self-reflection, and they're ready to own their part in what went wrong. They're not coming back with excuses or trying to rewrite history to make themselves look better. They're coming back with accountability. What I'm seeing with Justice is that this person wants to have a real conversation with you about everything that happened. They want to clear the air, to address the things that were left unsaid, to give you space to express how their actions affected you. Justice is about balance and fairness, so they're not expecting you to just welcome them back with open arms like nothing happened. They understand that trust was broken or damaged, and they're willing to do the work to rebuild it. They're coming to you with a sense of wanting to make amends, to do better this time, to show you through actions and not just words that they're serious about making this work. The Justice card also tells me that this person has been dealing with some karmic lessons around how they handle relationships and the people they care about. They've probably experienced some consequences from walking away from you or not valuing what you had together. Maybe they tried to move on and found that other connections felt empty by comparison. Maybe they realized how much they took you for granted, and that realization has been uncomfortable for them. Justice has a way of teaching us through experience, and this person has learned some hard lessons that have brought them to this point of wanting to reach out and try to make things right with you. Ace of Wands came through, and this is pure, passionate energy, Pisces. The Ace of Wands represents new sparks, inspiration, and that fiery desire to pursue something or someone. This person is feeling a renewed sense of excitement about you. Their feelings aren't dim or faded, they're actually igniting stronger than before. The Ace of Wands shows me that when this person does reach out, there's going to be genuine enthusiasm and energy behind it. They're not half-heartedly checking in, they're coming in with real intention and desire to reconnect and explore what could be between you two. What's beautiful about the Ace of Wands is that it represents fresh creative energy and new potential. This person sees possibility with you. They're thinking about all the things you could do together, experiences you could share, ways your lives could intertwine. The Ace of Wands is very much about taking action on inspiration, so this contact isn't going to be passive or vague. This person is ready to pursue you, to make real plans, to invest time and energy into rebuilding or creating something meaningful with you. They're done sitting on the sidelines of their own life, and they're ready to actively go after what they want, which is you. The Ace of Wands also suggests that this person's feelings have been reignited recently. Something triggered this renewed interest and passion. Maybe they saw something that reminded them of you. Maybe they heard a song or visited a place you used to go together. Maybe they had a dream about you. Whatever it was, it sparked something in them that they haven't been able to shake. And the Ace of Wands is all about following that spark, feeding that fire, not letting fear or overthinking extinguish something that could be really amazing. So this person is choosing to act on these feelings rather than suppressing them again. Ten of Swords appeared, and okay, this card might look intense, but hear me out, because in this context, it's actually really important. The Ten of Swords represents a painful ending, hitting rock bottom, that moment when you can't deny the truth anymore because the situation has become undeniable. This person has been through it, Pisces. They've experienced their own version of rock bottom when it comes to relationships or their emotional life. Maybe they tried to convince themselves they were fine without you, and that illusion finally shattered. Maybe they went through another relationship that crashed and burned in painful ways. Maybe they've just been carrying around grief and regret about losing you until it became too heavy to bear anymore. What's significant about the Ten of Swords is that it represents the end of denial. This is the card of finally accepting reality, of admitting defeat to whatever story you've been telling yourself. For this person, I'm seeing that they've finally had to admit to themselves that they're not over you, that they made a mistake, that walking away from you or letting you go was the wrong choice. The Ten of Swords is that moment of painful clarity where you can't lie to yourself anymore. And yes, it's uncomfortable, yes, it's humbling, but it's also necessary because you can't move forward until you've fully acknowledged where you are. The position of the Ten of Swords in this reading tells me that this person has hit their breaking point with trying to pretend they don't care or trying to move on without addressing their feelings for you. They've realized that avoiding this conversation, avoiding reaching out to you, is actually more painful than the vulnerability of admitting they still have feelings for you. Sometimes we need to reach that point of complete surrender before we can take the brave step of being honest, and that's where this person is. They've surrendered to the truth of their feelings, and now they're ready to do something about it. The Tower card showed up, and this is about sudden upheaval, revelations, and the destruction of false structures. This person has gone through or is going through a major life shakeup that's forcing them to reevaluate everything. The Tower is that lightning bolt moment when everything you thought was stable suddenly isn't, when beliefs you held get challenged, when your whole perspective shifts dramatically. For this person, something has happened that's made them question the choices they've made and the direction they've been heading, and in that questioning, you keep coming up as something real and true that they let slip away. What I'm seeing with the Tower is that this person might have built their life in a certain way, or made choices based on fear, other people's expectations, or misconceptions about what they really wanted. And recently, those foundations have started crumbling. Maybe a relationship they thought would work out didn't. Maybe a life path they were pursuing stopped feeling right. Maybe they had some kind of wake-up call that made them realize they've been living according to a script that isn't actually authentic to who they are and what they truly want. The Tower destroys what's false so that truth can emerge, and the truth that's emerging for this person is that they care about you deeply, and that connection was real. The Tower also suggests that this reaching out is going to be somewhat sudden for you. You might not see it coming, or you might have thought this chapter was completely closed. But the Tower doesn't give you a lot of warning. It just happens. So this contact could come out of nowhere. Maybe when you're least expecting it, or when you finally started to move on yourself. The energy of the Tower is disruptive, but ultimately it clears away what needs to go so that something more authentic can be built. This person is ready to disrupt whatever comfortable distance has existed between you two, because they can't maintain that distance anymore without feeling like they're betraying themselves. Five of Cups came through, and this card is absolutely about regret, grief, and focusing on what's been lost. This person has been mourning what they had with you, Pisces. The Five of Cups shows someone standing there, looking at spilled cups, at opportunities that were wasted, at connections that were damaged or ended. This person has been dwelling on what went wrong between you two and feeling genuine sadness about it. They're not just casually thinking about you as a nice memory from the past. They're actively grieving the loss of what you had together and what could have been. What's really telling about the Five of Cups is that even though there are usually two cups still standing in the imagery of this card, representing what's still available or still possible, the person in the card is so focused on what's been lost that they're not even seeing those remaining cups. But the presence of those standing cups is significant because it means not everything is lost. There's still possibility here. There's still something that can be salvaged or rebuilt. And I think this person is starting to realize that. They've spent time grieving and regretting, but now they're beginning to turn around and see that maybe those remaining cups are worth reaching for. Maybe it's not too late to try again. The Five of Cups energy also tells me that when this person reaches out, there's going to be an element of sadness or melancholy in their communication. They're going to express regret, talk about what they miss, maybe even be emotional about how much they wish things had gone differently. This isn't going to be a light and breezy conversation. This person has real feelings they need to express, and some of those feelings are painful ones, about loss and missed opportunities. But that vulnerability, that willingness to admit they're hurting and that they miss you, is actually a sign of growth and emotional maturity that might not have been there before. 10 of Pentacles showed up, and this card is fascinating in this reading because 10 of Pentacles is about legacy, long-term commitment, family building something that lasts. This person isn't thinking about you in terms of something casual or temporary. They're thinking about you in terms of real partnership, lasting connection, something with depth and future potential. The 10 of Pentacles represents the desire to build something meaningful and stable, to create a foundation together, to invest in the kind of relationship that actually goes somewhere. What I'm picking up with the 10 of Pentacles is that this person has matured in their thinking about relationships and what they really want. They're not interested in playing games or keeping things surface level anymore. They want something real with you. They're thinking about you in their future, imagining what life could look like with you as their partner in a serious and committed way. The 10 of Pentacles is about putting down roots, and this person is ready to stop floating around and actually plant themselves somewhere. And they're wanting to explore if that somewhere could be with you. This card also suggests that this person might talk about practical things when they reach out, not just feelings. They might mention life goals, where they see themselves heading, what they're looking to build in their life. The 10 of Pentacles is grounded and realistic, so they're not just coming to you with romantic words and empty promises. They're thinking about the actual logistics and reality of making a relationship work, about combining lives in meaningful ways. This is someone who's ready to put in the work, make compromises, show up consistently, do all the things that real lasting partnerships require. 8 of Cups appeared last, and this is such an interesting card to end on because the 8 of Cups is about walking away from something that isn't fulfilling anymore and searching for deeper meaning. This person has walked away from situations, maybe relationships or life circumstances, that were leaving them feeling empty. They've been on a journey trying to find what actually makes them happy and fulfilled, and that journey has led them back to thoughts of you. The 8 of Cups shows someone who's willing to leave behind what's comfortable or familiar in pursuit of something more authentic and meaningful. What's coming through with the 8 of Cups is that this person has learned some important lessons through the process of walking away from things that weren't right for them. They've gained perspective about what actually matters in a relationship and what they're truly looking for in a partner. And all of that soul searching and those experiences have made them realize that what they had with you, or what they could have with you, has a quality of authenticity and depth that they haven't found elsewhere. The Eight of Cups is about that spiritual quest for meaning, and for this person, reconnecting with you is part of that quest. The Eight of Cups also suggests that this person is ready to leave behind old patterns, old fears, old ways of relating that didn't serve them. They're doing that internal work of figuring out what needs to be released so they can show up differently in relationships. So when they reach out to you, they're not coming as the exact same person who couldn't make it work before. They're coming with new awareness, new emotional tools, new willingness to do things differently. The Eight of Cups is about evolution and growth, and this person has been evolving in ways that are bringing them back to you, but hopefully from a more mature and conscious place. So Pisces, what I'm seeing here is that this unexpected contact is absolutely coming, and it's going to be significant. This isn't someone randomly checking in out of boredom. This is someone who has done serious internal work, faced uncomfortable truths about themselves and their feelings for you, and made a conscious decision to be vulnerable and honest with you. They're going to tell you they still love you, that they need to talk, that they've realized they made a mistake in how things ended or in letting you go. The energy here is genuine, remorseful, hopeful, and serious about wanting another chance, or at least the opportunity to express what they've been carrying. Now, I want to be really clear with you about something. Just because this person is reaching out with genuine feelings doesn't automatically mean you need to respond or give them another chance. You get to decide what's right for you. You get to take time to think about whether this is something you want to explore or if this door has closed for you. The cards are showing me what's coming and what this person's energy and intentions are, but your free will and your feelings matter just as much as theirs. So when this contact comes, really check in with yourself about what you want, not just what they want. I'm also seeing that the timing of this is very soon. The energy feels imminent, like this is something that's going to happen in the near future, not months from now. This person is building up the courage right now to reach out. They might be drafting messages in their head, trying to figure out the right words, psyching themselves up to finally make that contact. So don't be surprised if you hear from them seemingly out of the blue very soon, and when you do, you'll probably recognize a lot of what I've shared in this reading in the energy and content of what they say to you. The universe is setting up this opportunity for you two to have an honest conversation, to clear the air, to see if there's something worth rebuilding or exploring. Whether or not you choose to engage with that is entirely up to you, Pisces. Trust your intuition, protect your peace, and make sure that if you do decide to give this person your time and energy, they're actually ready to show up for you in the ways you deserve. Words are important, but actions matter more. If they're truly serious about making things right and building something real with you, they'll need to prove that through consistent effort over time, not just in the initial reconnection conversation. I hope this reading brought you some clarity about what's coming and helped you understand the energy behind this unexpected contact. Remember that you're worthy of a love that shows up consistently, communicates honestly, and chooses you actively every single day. Don't settle for anything less than that, Pisces, no matter how genuine someone's feelings might be in this moment. Real love requires more than just feelings. It requires commitment, action, and the willingness to do the hard work of showing up even when it's uncomfortable. Make sure this person understands that if they're really serious about another chance with you. Sending you so much love and clarity as you navigate whatever comes next in this situation. Trust yourself, trust your intuition, and know that whatever you decide is the right decision for you.